Okay, welcome back to the Recycled Cottage and Garden and for the redo of canning beef. That video was so bad. It only kept the video part going for like 20 some minutes and then it stopped. The audio kept going, the video did not. So I took all that down. We're redoing it with what's left of the beef that I need to can today. So let me move this up a little bit because, yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to see there from there. So we're going up to here carefully on the sink edge. So if it looks a little crooked, that's because it's sitting on the sink edge. Okay, yesterday I did 9 pints. Today I have 5 more. That was the rest of it. So what I have done already, just to try and keep this video very short, at least short for me, is I have the beef in chunks, smallish chunks. It's been, I've added the rest of the broth out of that pan, taken out a lot of the fat, added some water to fill up the jar. It's ready to go as soon as the lids warm up. They're almost there. I only have 5 pints to do today, but it still has to go at my elevation at 7,700 feet. I'm over 1,000 feet for sure. It has to go for 75 minutes. That's an hour and 15 minutes at 15 pounds pressure. Most of the United States will be 10 pounds pressure for 60 minutes for beef. So what I've done is I've got them in the jars with the liquid. I've debubbled. I've cleaned the jar edges and lips. So they're all ready to go. I need to go ahead and turn this on because it's going to get there soon here. Okay. Yeah, we're almost there. Okay, so let me tell you exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to get the lids on them, the rings on them, and put them in the canner. When I put the lid on the canner, just to reiterate, you have to let it come up to pressure, which means that this little valve will pop up. At that point, you'll see steam coming out of here. You want to wait until this is giving you a very steady stream before you do anything else and start timing. No spluttering, hit and miss. You want a good, steady, full stream of steam coming out of this petcock. Once that happens, set your timer for 10 minutes. Once that 10 minutes is up, you'll know that all the air has been expelled from the canner, and you can safely put your weight on it. Okay, I'm telling you this right now because I don't want to take any more time than I have to here. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is get the lids on. They are now warm. I'm old school. I do warm them up in hot water. They're not boiling, but they are hot. The whole reason for that was not only to sterilize them, which isn't really an issue with pressure canning, because pressure canning does the sterilization for you, but it was to soften the rubber seal on it, that orange part, reddish orange. So I'm old school. I've always done it that way over 35 years. I'm going to continue to do it that way. It doesn't hurt it. Okay, let me dump that out and put that in there. We'll put our rings on and get them in the canner. Now, if you have any questions about too tight, you won't be able to get them off. Fingertip tight, as they say. Don't crank them down. You'll have trouble getting them off. go ahead and put them in the canner. And let me just reiterate what you didn't see from the video I took down. Everything's going in cold. Okay, it's cold jars, cold meat, cold broth, cold water into the jars. They're going in a cold canner with cold water in there. The only thing warm was the lids. Okay, so they're in. I'm going to go ahead and put, come on, get in there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put my lid on. And it's just going to sit here and come up to pressure. Every stove is different. Mine's electric. I start mine out on 6. That'll get up to pressure fairly quickly. And then you'll be able to, hello, you'll be able to figure out once your weight starts jiggling. That's why I call it a jiggler. Some people call it a regulator. Some people just call it a weight. I call it a jiggler. That's just what it does. It's the noise it makes and what little bits of steam will come out as it's rocking. So once it's up to pressure, you can start cutting your temperature on your stovetop back. It's a little bit easier with a gas stove, but it can be done easily on an electric stove as well. You just want to find out where your sweet spot is. Mine is at about 3.5 to 4 to keep that jiggling in a regular time frame. You want it to jiggle about once every couple of minutes, several times, up to several times a minute. Sorry. You know what? I need to add more water. It's one thing I forgot to do. I put a little water in there, but I always add more simply because it has to pressure can for so long. That's the only reason I add more. I'm going to move this out of the way too. There we go. Kind of keep that between the microwave and the stove. Try and get your canner centered over your eye. And what else? That's pretty much it. Make sure everything's clean. The main thing, since we're not looking at the canner anymore, and please don't look at my hair. I'll be like Bev Wolfie and say don't look at my hair. It's just twisted up out of the way so I don't get hairs in anything. If you have any questions on what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, go ahead and ask me in the comments below. I will answer those. Or you can refer back to my 3-part series on canning potatoes. It's 3 different videos. I was very, very thorough in doing that because that's just the basics. The only things that should change would be how long you're going to can it for. That's pretty much, or what weight, depending on where you live. That's the only thing that should change. The rest of it should all be the same. I'm not going to go ahead and open this up and show you at the end. There's no point to it. Basically, it looks like when I canned potatoes, except that it's beef. I will turn you around slowly so I don't give you a headache. These are the 9 jars I canned yesterday, day before yesterday. They're perfectly good. Everything is sealed. They've been washed, and I just labeled them this morning so I could put them on the shelf. So that's what they look like. And that gravy that was in the, the brothy part that was in the bottom of the pan It made a really nice broth to put in with the meat. And I did add water, so it's not totally broth because it was pretty thick actually. Um, I actually roast my beef before I can it. I put it in the oven for about 8 or so hours on the lowest setting. I would have rather had it lower, but it only goes to 265. So that's what I put it on, and with a little water in each pan. I had 3 pans. Um, and I put my spices on at that point. I used a little salt, a little pepper, some garlic, and some onion powder. Um, you can season them how you wish or not season them at all. Some people will raw pack it. I like mine cooked. The nice thing about that is that it's cooked, it's ready to go. I've had it in the fridge. I can peel the grease off the top of it because it's now solidified and remove that. And then the meat's already tender. I don't have to chop it. It's already tender and falling apart. It does not get any more non-tender as it processes in the canner. That's just not going to happen. It's just going to basically stew it for 75 minutes. Which is why pressure cookers are very nice as well. If you need to cook something in a hurry, you can cook it in a pressure canner. I've done in this particular canner, I've cooked several turkeys over the years because where in my mobile home that I had, the oven went out and I couldn't afford to replace it. So I bought a toaster oven, which worked fine, but you couldn't put a turkey in it, it wouldn't fit. So I pressure cooked it. Turned out beautiful as far as being tender, juicy, and easy to eat. Did it look like something you'd want to serve on a fancy table? No. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end this now so that hopefully it functions properly and I can upload it in one shot and we won't have any more issues. There may still be some glitches. Part of that is my Chromebook. I'm not sure why. I'm probably going to have to buy a new one this year, but I can't right now. So we're hoping this works. And thanks for watching, and everyone have a great day.